You know how to make an avatar already, but today I want to show you how I make an avatar from start to finish. This is not intended as a tutorial. My hopes are that you learn little things through my work and improve your avatar creation skills in the process. This avatar features multiple clothing swaps with accessories like a corset that involve extra blend shape work to make everything compatible, and radials for extra color customization. So sit back and enjoy. Hey guys, I've got a new commission for you. I'm really excited for this one because it's an IMVU reference. If you guys recognize the highly realistic, IMVU style. I played IMVU back in the day when it was super anime. I can't even find a reference. I can't even find a picture of the difference of how realistic it is now compared to how it was back then. This one might be the closest. Anyways, I'm excited for this one because I have done a few IMVU references to start with in the past, and this one looks really fun. I did get new assets for this one that I didn't have before, and I'm excited to use them. I'll probably put them on my own avatar. That's how excited I am. I'm going to try not to move the camera too much so I can do a very simple blur. Let me start with making all of the folders that I need and extracting all of the files, just to make this a little easier. You guys did seem to really like the last one that I did of this, and that made me really happy. It's nice that I can do this slow form, simple, rather than tutorial, fast-paced, get what you need and get out. And you guys are actually learning things from this, and that makes me happy. I'm glad you guys really like this. We couldn't find a hairstyle quite like this. I found a few ponytails that the back is curly back here. I couldn't find any that had that exact middle part, so we just settled on a normal ponytail. I did find the bangs, how it starts at the top and then goes down in like a single strand. I did find that, but we chose a different one, so it'll still look good, but not as much like the reference. Alright, I'm going to try moving the camera as little as possible at this point so I don't have to constantly blur and unblur, because that took a very long time to edit. I'm just going to ballpark that right now. Alright, let's get some clothes on this. Okay, we should be safe for work now. Okay, we're not keeping this corset thing. Let's get the material preview on and start applying the materials. I don't think we want two different eye colors. Save a material slot there. I don't think I'll be able to make the eyelashes and stuff look good right now, so I'm just gonna hide it. Oh no, that looks worse. We'll do that. Venus Base comes with a setup tool that adds constraints to the body when you get in Unity. I don't do any coloring, any texture work in Blender. I do all of that when I actually get into Unity. So you're just going to see me apply any texture right now as long as I can see something. And then I worry about it matching the reference in Unity. I got a lot of boobage going on here, and I can't really show the sculpting anyway with it being a heavy blur, so I'm just going to skip right past this being shaped, but I'm going into edit mode with this on here, zoom in, and then I can grab it and pull it out. And I'm doing that for the whole shirt. Okay, I do like to edit the body, makes the commission more unique, and every avatar looking the same because it's kit bashed is something I obviously want to avoid as much as I can. But when I edit the body, then that means the person who bought the avatar can never edit it without learning how to sculpt clothes onto the body. So if I leave it exactly as is, then it can go on Jinxie, search for clothing specifically rigged to Venus Base, and then attach it directly without having to find someone who knows how to sculpt to do it for them. So I just like to leave the person who buys the avatar with as much flexibility in editing it themselves as possible. Not that I can't add more to their model later if they want me to, but I don't want to rule out the option if they want to. Okay, let's add some hair to this baldy. let me combine all of this. Make sure the head is the right size and whatnot. When it comes to realism avatars, I'm still not sure how big the head needs to be until I get in game, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, this is way too small or way too big. I do feel like the neck's a little too big. I'm gonna add a blend shape for neck minus, or neck, yeah. Grab the neck, and then Alt S, drag that down. Yeah, I feel like that looks better to me, and that still gives them room to add clothes that are already shaped. And if, you know, if like a turtleneck, it wouldn't clip or anything, so it's fine. I feel like the shoulders are also very up. I don't know how to explain that, but they're like, maybe it's because I'm just used to this. You know, my avatars are usually small shouldered, and this is very broad shouldered. Okay, I'm gonna apply the blend shape because I don't want to ruin the data transfer, and then I'm gonna leave it in case they go or I go, oh, the neck's too big or too small, then I can revert it and apply to basis again to undo it. Same goes for everything. If I, whatever I edit the face to, I really wish I could see with the eyelashes. It makes it more confusing. I might have to go into Photoshop and make me a mask. There we go. Now I can keep going. And I do. Now that I can actually see it, the head is way too big. Now it's too small. See, it's so much easier on anime because you can make the head as big or small as you want to. You know, there's really no messing it up. But realism, it needs to be realistic, you know? I'm gonna roll with this and change it later if I need to, but I think this is good. Piercings. No piercings on the reference. Let's get rid of those. And we can combine these now. So something I have not mentioned before is when you have merge all bones deselected, it doesn't merge the bones. So yeah, you can merge all bones, not merge all bones as needed, but if you ever select merge all bones later on, it will still merge those bones that you chose, that you told it not to merge. So if you're gonna hit not merge, if you're gonna have like a tail that says bone 1, bone 2, bone 3, and then ears that say bone 1, bone 2, bone 3, you can not merge all bones, combine them, but then after that you need to change the name because it'll say bone1.merge, bone2.merge, and if you ever recheck merge all bones, it'll merge them anyway. So I think it's better to leave it on at all times, and then if you ever need to turn it off for specific reasons, then do that. But you will run into an issue where suddenly your ears are connected to your tailbone because you had merge all bones not selected and then you did select it. Okay, I don't want to remove these bones yet because this, and one of the things I hate now is bodies being in A pose, because as soon as I do this data transfer, this cardigan is going to look like crap. I'm worried that the constraints thing that I mentioned with Venus face is not going to work if I put it in T-pose. I suppose I could put it in a T-pose for the data transfer and then put it back in the original pose, or like duplicate it, put it in the T-pose, data transfer. That's a lot for all of the shirts. Just for this constraints checker that doesn't seem to do anything. Constraints needed for normal operation. All right, so I'm afraid that putting it in T-pose will mess things up. Time to put my hair up and get serious. What we're gonna do is duplicate the body with the armature. We're gonna put the other one on hold for a minute, and we're gonna take this new one and put it in T-pose. Doesn't need to be exact. The point is that I need the weight transfer to be cleaner. Okay, so then ignoring the old one, that one's the one we're actually going to be using. And then this one is the one I'll be data transferring the clothes to. So now let me pose these new clothes. Uh-oh, wait, I don't want, this one's already shaped. Okay, I put the top on its own armature, so I can delete the bones on that one and go ahead and merge that to the original armature. So now this crop top is on this body. Okay, so now I'm gonna pose this up into T-pose. I want the sleeves to be a little bigger. I feel like it looks cuter when it's like over the hand. Now I can delete the bones, don't need them, and then I can shape it. I could have kept using the bones to like shape it in place, but I'm not worried about it. I don't hate this cardigan, but I feel like I've used it a lot, and it's one of those things that's like time to retire in my brain. But I always show it as an option because it is a good one and people do like it. I just see it a lot, I guess. Okay, I think that's good. One last check to lower the alpha. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so now I'm doing the data transfer. And I'm combining this one to the T-posed body. So that was 0.3, merge 2, done. Now let's see how bad the data transfer is. That is significantly easier to fix than if I put it in T-pose and then this huge chunk here is connected to the chest. That's a horrible picture. I hope, here, does that? Alright, there's the armpit of the sleeve. This whole chunk would be weight painted to the chest, and then the rest of this chunk would be weight painted to the arm. It'd be a huge mess. I hope that explained anything. I'm sorry. But this will be really easy to fix. I can actually go on the inside here, and I want to remove the weight painting from the arm, which left arm is the panda base. I should have, let me make it a tad easier. I should have deleted unlocked groups and then data transferred. Now none of the panda base vertex groups are in there. I have to find whichever one is arm, which it wouldn't be a twist bone, right? Okay, so I'm going inside the body, low weight, 0, or low strength, 0 weight, and then removing it from the arm. It doesn't need to be all the way. If I'm in wireframe mode, I can see exactly where to click, right where these are the vertices here, this connection. And if I click that, then that spot exactly will be what moves. And there we go. Anything else beyond that, I'm gonna add a blend shape, but easy fix. Okay, back to the skirt. Weight painting the skirt to the A-posed body and making sure it's linked to the armature. Okay, I'm gonna go down the list now. So the next thing we're adding is this hair, which is right there. Got it all downloaded, makes it a lot easier. Let's get a texture on this just so it's less of an eyesore. That would be this hair. I feel like the bangs are almost there. How hard would it be for me to flip it so it matches the reference? If I literally just do that. We'll find out what breaks. I feel like I've done that before. Okay, I think the ear is just straight up in the wrong spot. So we're gonna grab that whole thing and drag it back. Okay, next thing on the list is the ponytail. One of the things I'm really excited about this one is they gave me full creative liberty to mess around with the shaders, and that is by far the funnest part of making avatars for me. Most of the time, and understandably, like in the last video I did, we want to keep the commission as close to the reference as possible. Why is this doing this? Oh, because there's two. We're not using either bang, so let's just get rid of it. We want to keep the commission as close to the reference as possible, so in doing that, I don't get to have as much fun with the shaders. So, but this one, she said, do what you want, have fun. So we're gonna. I'm excited. My plan is to just do whatever I want and then let them know that we can remove anything if they end up not liking it. I need to hide I need to move these hairs and then hide them so I'm not moving them when I move the bangs. Okay. That should be good. Select all of that and then hide. So the bangs that we're gonna go with are these, but we're not taking all of it. We're just taking the lower pieces here. I kind of actually might like the base more too. So if I just take this, okay, so if I take all of that and then delete the bun and get rid of the bangs from that, and then I think the base looks a lot better than this one. Let's get rid of this. And then we have that. That actually looks really good. I don't like these over here. The hair's not messy enough for that to make sense. But these ones look good. Okay, and I hate, like I absolutely hate these bald spots. And I think I'm gonna fix that by grabbing the entire edge, not the end, and making it bigger. Same over here, grab the edge, remove that part, drag it down. Maybe remove this part too. And then I can manually fix over here. So hard to find the vertice right there. Yeah, that looks better. Still some over here. Okay, so now let's delete the bones that aren't part of what we kept, going into pose mode and dragging the strands, and whichever ones move are the ones that we undo and keep there. Which might just be that. Nope. That one should be moving too. Oops, I missed one. Just those. Yeah, okay, so then apply as a rest pose and then delete all that. And same for this one. Okay, and then I like to have two hair roots. One is hair root. And then the bangs I like to put on their own Phys bone root, hair front. So now when I combine these to the A pose body, which is this one, double check those. See, this one didn't have a, when I set it to merge all bones, it didn't know what to merge it to because it didn't have a head bone, so it merged it to the armature itself. You can see that from the drop down and it's not under the head bone. So out of edit mode, click on that, relations parent, oh, in edit mode, sorry. Click on the bone, parent, head, now it's parented to the head bone. Okay, line these up, nice and neat. So now bangs, long hair. Okay, this needs to be weighted to the head. So I'm gonna set the hair root itself to move, and that means the whole ponytail is gonna move as a result. I might have to clean this up later, but I'm gonna just leave it as is for now. Okay, and then hair root. Because if you leave it like this, then when you put the Phys bone on the hair root, the entire ponytail is going to move, and the intention there is to put 7 Phys bone transforms on all of these bones instead of the hair root bone, and that's just really unnecessarily unoptimized. So now this should not move that. Okay, we'll see how it looks in game. Okay, next on the list, we're looking at... Okay, we thought originally that this was a whole shirt, but it's actually just a corset. So I'm gonna put a hold on that for now until we figure that out. Now for one of my new assets that I bought for this commission. It's so freaking cute. I like that it's like tight at the bottom. I don't usually get a loose jacket that's not like really baggy. And I match it up as best as I can. Which is probably gonna be right there actually. I'm confused why these aren't rigged. That's a little weird. Okay, I'm going to shape it and rig it to the T-pose. If the T-pose, A-pose thing doesn't make sense yet, like why I'm doing it this way, just wait until I move the T-pose back down to match the A-pose, and when I merge the clothing to the A-pose, the weight painting will be exactly the same. It'll make sense. I'm also confused why this is double-sided. Ooh, it even comes with a tank. That's so cute. Wait, I think I have an idea. We can use... I didn't realize it's not a full tank top. It cuts off right there because that's all it needs for the jacket. But I was thinking we could use the tank top with that corset to fix, you know, two problems in one. Oh, I need to combine the ponytail. So hair, pony. This jacket's so freaking cute. I have a few assets from this person and they're all like, they're unique. It's not often you run into an asset creator that, you know, makes something that nobody else does. Gotta make sure the nipples aren't showing. That should be good. Once I fix this whole armpit. And there's a little hiding under there. Oh, another thing I've never mentioned is when you have shirts like this, sometimes they go a little taller. Don't combine the head and body yet, because when you data transfer and you make the avatar look up, the shirt will be weight painted to the head. So I like to combine the body and the head together at the very end to prevent issues. Same goes for when I'm editing an avatar. I will separate the body from the rest of the meshes and data transfer, because the avatar could have something attached to the body that I don't even know about, and then I've data transferred the clothes to a piece of chain or something sticking out. Okay, it feels really baggy, but that is also the point. I'm just gonna pull those in a little bit. There we go. All right, data transfer to this body and then combine to that armature 0.3. Now for the other shirt that I was excited about. This is so cute. This is also going on my model. This is supposed to be the pastel one, this one. I did find one slightly closer, but not as cute. So, all right, time to get to shaping. The elbows always mess me up because I used to just shape them to match the size, not realizing that I'm like, this should be right here. So now I bring that part over. Oh, that was actually so clean. I've never done it that clean before. It feels very, like, I don't know why. Okay, that helped. I always shape it first and then check it in this mode because I don't know, I feel like I catch more mistakes when I do it in this order. See, I didn't even know it was too thick there, making the arm huge compared to the actual arm. Oh my gosh, no kidding. Okay, I think that was it. Bleed the bones, weight paint to, I'm gonna name this to body temp. And then combine the armatures. This one has a lot on it. Like, yeah, I'm not spending a lot of time making custom textures, but I'm adding like 3 outfits. Okay, now the bow skirt. skirt is extremely similar. I think this cheaper route would have been to just use the black one or just use this one and then do like a material swap. So you go from pastel to latex, but they also do look different. I want to look at the reference actually. See, it ends right at the belly button, so I kind of want to raise it up. I think this skirt benefits heavily from being high-waisted, whereas the other one being lower makes sense for variety. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Let me just make it less poofy. I like that a lot. I don't care. I like that a lot more being high-waisted. Okay, weight paint. My thing is the length right now I feel like should be rigged, but it's not. So I'm going to shorten it a little bit so it doesn't look weird that it's stiff. Not on the butt. Just like this part feels like it should move, so just to make it look a little more natural. 3 and 8. I'm not doing good about naming these. Top cardigan, top jacket, lower ribbon skirt. That one actually is on the wrong body. I should have put it on the other body. Doesn't really matter, but it's gonna be really annoying later. Next is the heart garters. So we're doing socks. Any thigh-high socks. The reference has these garters, and the heart garters that I have, actually I think I already downloaded them. Okay, this is the garter that I have that's similar, but it's missing that part here. So I have these socks, 2 materials, that have these. Oh, that is gonna be annoying. Heel base, flat base. Well, at least I get to teach you guys something. I'm gonna match it up to the knee and their thigh, not knee. So we're gonna lower that and lower this. I don't want it to pull so much. Like this. I'm cooking, hang on, hold on. I know it doesn't match up. I just want it to be like a subtle tug, not as heavy as it is on the actual asset. Okay, and then I'll take this and then rotate it. Okay, do you see the vision? Hang on, do we have thigh? Squish? Ooh, we do! What does 2 look like? Oh, it's way too low. Okay, so we're gonna do that one. So then this is gonna get lowered to here. I don't want to deform the heart, so I'm gonna grab the whole thing. And then this. Okay, let's get rid of this. Kind of thinking get rid of the metal piece too. We don't need all of these polys, so oops. Get rid of. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, that's bizarre. Okay. I get why they did that. They put a metal piece in between. I'm gonna subdivide this so I can drag these up and this down. Oh, it's not connected. Okay. Put them in the heart so you can't see them. It needs to be flattened, so this is a few times where I use not the metal. Where I use the sculpt flattening. It works beautifully to clean that up. Okay, recombine those and let's toss some material on. Okay, I'm going to steal. Wow, that is a lot of materials for one garter. I'm going to steal the socks texture and we're going to UV wrap it. I don't know what they're called. Socks black. There we go. And then, oh, it's a tiny dot, so we can put it wherever we want. Easy. So now it's part of this material and it's not two materials. We're going to change all of these to metal. Hit the minus and it attaches to the one above it. And then put this on here, armature link it. There we go. So now I'd have to weight paint it, but now these are fully attached, the same materials and everything. I think I killed it. I think that looks great. It's exactly what I was expecting. Okay, not grabbing the right vertex. This has a little bit of a dip here that I don't like. I guess there's one last thing I don't like. These are transparent. I don't think this sock allows that, so I'm actually gonna delete it, and I'm just gonna take this piece from it. Be a lot cleaner, because the heel actually needs heels. We're putting heels on this model. So that needs to be like perfect. Wait, rather than my sloppy blend shape creation. Okay, and cut this off. It's actually halfway on the reference. Makes sense, it's got a clip onto it, so. There. Okay, I did not think the knee was in the right spot. Or I didn't know the knee was in such a bad spot, so we're gonna fix that first. There, and now, cut it off. I'm holding Alt and clicking so I select the entire edge, by the way. Took me 2 years to figure that out. So never feel like you're too dumb for this. 2 years to figure out you have to press Alt. Alt. Click. I love Blender. It's so great. Okay, so this sock comes with a UV texture, UV map that will not be easy to work with cutting it off here. It would help if I look at the actual sock. See how it's... Well, I say that, but I could just cut it off right at the black, so then everything black and above will be opaque. Never mind. I'm gonna do it that way. It'll be fine. Because otherwise I'm gonna have to not re-UV map, but essentially take all of that top part and move it. I guess, yeah, re-UV map, but this will work just fine. Just making a custom texture, alpha map, and all that for it. I feel like the foot is too thick. These are going to be pink. Okay, so with that in mind, they don't want to be the same texture as the sock. I'm going to take them and make them bigger because it's just I can't work under these conditions. Hang on, let me UV map this. Mark seam, Control L to select the whole thing, and unwrap. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm putting a simple matte cap and probably a seamless mesh normal on it. We're gonna call it garter. Get rid of the texture and make it pink. Adding a matte cap to anything is... Why is it not changing? Is the easiest fix to something not having a texture. It looks like these... Yeah, this has a solidifier. This is solid and this is a single plane and I don't like how that looks. So we're gonna press E and move it in. Just to make that look a little more like it belongs to the garter. There. Let's go ahead and get that blend shape out of the way actually. So flat foot. So when it does that, the socks need to also do it. Okay, so to do this, it's not gonna be pretty. I'm gonna grab that one and then select everything here. Don't judge me, it's gonna be a lot of fixing. I'm actually wondering if I should do that and then deselect that. That is not bad. I killed that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now when the shoes come off, flat foot. That looks so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I can duplicate, mirror, combine them, and we're gonna data transfer again because I'm realizing the other one's now data transferred to the left foot. And then I need to separate the legs because I need to make sure they're not doing that exact thing. Anything with R, I'm going to remove over here. Remove from here. Okay, now for one of the heels. We're doing 2 heels. Okay, same thing here. I've got no reason to sculpt it twice. So let's get rid of the bones and the other side and then move these over. We're adding an anklet, and these heels have me questioning how to do that because the anklet will be, I guess if it's like right here. Would you have heels over or under an anklet? Delete all unlocked groups, duplicate it, mirror. Combine them, fix the normal, shift N, and then now data transfer. Okay, I need to set it to opaque, and we can delete all of these other assets. Okay, duplicate, mirror, Control J, Shift N, transfer. Make sure the bones are deleted. If you don't delete them, you're gonna have 7,000 leg bones. Okay, I'm gonna call these shoes strappy and shoes. I hate the name. I hate calling it chunky. Alright, we're learning about heels today. What's going on? Closed-toed, maybe? They're both platforms. I can't call them platforms. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to call them chunky. I lose this battle. So we are making some changes to this. I showed some pictures of the progress and we're switching the long hair, which I am excited about. I think this new long hair is gonna look a lot better, but we are keeping the bangs because they did match the reference pretty well. And the ponytail is unfortunately going away. Big shame because I do like it. I think the thing I mainly like are these pieces here, and I want to see what I can do with them in the other hairstyles. We also added a few more clothing, like 2 shirts and a pair of shorts, because I did comment on the thing how we have 2 skirts that look extremely similar, you know, the same length and all that. And then I said a pair of shorts would do a lot. They said, yeah, let's do it. So I've got a high-waisted short, that one of my favorite pairs of shorts actually. Okay, I want to start with the hair. Get that back into place so we're not bald. The other hair is okay. This is still a straight hair, but you know, it's got some wave and volume and all that. So we are adding a bang toggle. It's gonna be these bangs with that long hair. I'm debating having it come out or having it go in. Okay, the reference definitely doesn't have any hair tucked in, so I think I'm gonna have it go out. I do actually really like this, because there's this giant hole right here and this is kind of filling it. I guess the only problem is the strands are really small compared to the strands of the other hair, but that might not be something you notice in game. This looks a lot better than the straight hair. Like, this looks really good. Okay, so now I need to get rid of the bones from the straight hair that we're not using. That should be it. Okay, so the long hair is removed. I'm eating, sorry. It's morning. I want to send a screenshot before I continue to make sure they like it. Okay. And then instead of the ponytail, we are doing short hair. Alright, we're gonna add the belly ring now. We're not doing the bottom part of the belly ring, so that's why I deleted it. We just want the main part. I think I want to change this material to the gem. Like that. Perfect. And then let's assign this to the same metal that everything else uses. Okay, I'm not sure about a data transfer, but let's see how it looks later. I might have to go in and manually weight paint that. Okay, next is the bikini. Back to blurring. I'm not doing the skirt from this. I have a skirt that I like slightly more. So when I add a bikini, I do not like to categorize it with the tops. Instead, I will combine them into the same mesh and then name it other bikini. And you can toggle the bikini on and off, and then also when you put a shirt on, a blend shape activates to hide the bikini. Okay, so now the bikini's one mesh, the lower can come off, the top can come off depending on if you're wearing a shirt where that was a bad example. If you're wearing a shirt that doesn't need it, then you just activate that blend shape to hide it. Let me do the data transfer. This is the skirt that I want to use instead of the one that comes with the bikini. I say that, but it's not rigged. That is unfortunate. I like the material of this one a bit more, and the shape. Well, I think I signed up for just sucking it up and rigging it real quick. It shouldn't take long. Because the other one is rigged, and I specifically said I like this one more. So it is what it is. Let me show you how to rig if you don't know how. Let me go ahead and combine it with the armature. Alright, so I'm gonna click on the armature, go into edit mode, grab a random bone that's connected to the leg bone, duplicate it, and then move it over. I'm gonna line it up with I'm debating doing one bone or two bones. I think let's do one and then let's do more. So let me name it correctly now. We're gonna call it bikini skirt. And then press E to extrude it. It's gonna make more. We'll do 5. Okay, let me data transfer it. And then on the leg, I'm going to unweight paint it because I do not want this part connected to the leg. I hate that I can't separate the straps. It makes it a little more difficult, but it's fine. Okay, that should be everything. So now I'm going to make a new vertex group, call it the same as the bone I named earlier. Make sure the strength's not too high, and then you're going to weight paint where you see the bone. So I see it connecting from there to there, so I'm drawing, making it blue. It doesn't need to be perfect, and in fact you do want it to overlap a little bit between bones. And then we can go into pose mode and grab that. You could see it's like tugging a little bit right there. That means I missed some of the weight painting from the leg. Me coming in a few weeks later, I guess I didn't feel like talking. When I finished rigging the skirt, I moved directly to the anklet and bracelet, so I got it from a full outfit and I'm taking just the bracelet from it. Okay, I've got this for the bracelet, and then I'm actually also going to use it for the anklet. I think instead of a gem though, we're gonna go with pearl. That instead of, you know, like a bright red or whatever color we go with. I think that'll fit the vibe of the model a little bit more. Okay, so take that, duplicate it. I think I need to go lower, like right above the ankle. Let's combine them. And data transfer. And then I want to make blend shapes for them in case we're making a toggle. But I don't want to have them as their own mesh because there's no reason, it's unoptimized. There's better ways, other ways you can do this, like UV tile discards, but then it's not Quest compatible. So just doing a quick little blend shape is a pretty easy fix. It's off, it's on, it's off, it's on, you know. We are also adding the corset. I need to find it again. So we are adding a top that's pretty similar to what the Gumroad listing had, and we're gonna make all of the tops compatible with this corset. I need the texture is really ugly without it. Okay, we are removing the suspenders from the skirt though. Wherever it is. So we're only keeping this part, and then the rest, delete. I like that more anyway. I like that it perfectly shows the belly ring. I guess the last part is I feel like it should go perfectly under the boobs. The only thing is I'm going to have to fix the weight painting. Because I don't actually want it attached to the weight painting of the boobs. I just want it underneath. I want to wait to do all of the blend shapes at once. I just did that one to make sure I don't forget to do that. But like I'll go through and add all the blend shapes for the underwear and stuff at the very end once I've added everything. Okay, now for the buckle shoes. Same thing, I don't want to waste time doing it on 2 shoes. I'm going to line it up with the heel here first, but let's go ahead and get the flat foot. It's super easy when a body comes with a flat foot blend shape, but sometimes they don't, and then you have to make it yourself, and it ends up being a huge pain. Sometimes in those cases I'll go, oh, well, we can add it, but it needs to have a sock like attached to it, and then we can just scrunch the feet underneath and no one will know. I'm actually going to line it up with the top of the foot. Okay, that should be good. Let's make sure the metal is the same material. I'm pretty sure these shoes don't come with a texture. Yeah, so we're just gonna name this black, and then anything that doesn't have a texture, it's the same thing. It'll be the same material. Duplicate, mirror, combine. I hate that that is perfectly on the anklet. I'll probably move it up with the blend shape when these shoes come on. So like when the socks come on, you're gonna need a blend shape for that too. We'll get there. All right, we actually only have 2 or 3 things left to add. This one, I need to make a version of it myself and stop downloading it on Gumroad because it is 60,000 polys. And when you reduce the polys, like automatically, decimate, like quick decimation, whatever it calls it, it's a huge mess. It's so bad. Let me just shape it first and then I'll show you what I do to fix it. It's not great, but I would rather it, you know, have 10,000 polys and it just doesn't look quite the same than it has 60,000 polys, because it's insane. Okay, that should be good. Let's get some double-sided going on and make sure. No, it's the opaque. There it is. So the main reason for all the polys is the chain. So I want to decimate that without ruining this. So I'm going to separate that and do its own thing, and then we can decimate this. So this is 50,000 polys. It's primarily the chain. And you can decimate the chain pretty easily without it being a big deal. It looks fine. I say that. I want to merge by distance. Removed 1600 vertices, and now when I decimate, it should be a bit cleaner. Yeah, that's the exact same amount of times it decimated, but it looks completely different. Oh, I did not mean to have that part of it. I want to get this down to 10k if I can, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. It's actually refusing to decimate anymore. So, I'm not sure why it's not working, but we'll just leave this at 19,000. It could be better. At the very least, I can make sure it's part of the same mesh as the other jewelry, just to save as much space as I can, you know. Let's do a data transfer. And then combine those. Okay, this is one of the new tops we decided to add in. Okay, now I'm adding these shorts. And we did say that we're going to lower it below the belly button to show the belly button rings, so I'm just gonna grab all of this and pull it out a little bit more, and turning a high-rise short into a mid-rise. Definitely gonna need the smoothing tool for this one. I'm gonna get it into the right spot as much as I can before I use the smoothing tool. This part's gonna be annoying. It needs to be pulled over, but then I also need to pull this over. I'm just gonna hit this and hope I don't ruin the texture too much. So that created that, so I'm not even gonna touch that area. Just in case I mess it up too much, actually, I'm gonna flatten it on a shape key. Perfect. So now I'm just gonna apply to basis and then delete it because I don't need it anymore. If I messed up, I could just delete the shape key and start over versus delete the entire asset and re-add it. Okay. It's time to tackle the thigh area now. Okay, I'm gonna show you what I'll plan to do and we'll find out if it's gonna work. Let me center it first. It's not centered. So I'm going to erase everything on this half, or hide everything on this half. So select and then H to hide it. And then connected only, I'm going to drag this side over. I'm trying not to touch this middle part as much as I can, but sometimes it's unavoidable. So I have this circle pretty small. Realized it'd probably be smart to put the bikini on so I don't have to keep blurring that. Okay, so now if I want to center that a bit better. If I Alt H, it shows the other half. Now I'm going to select this half and do the same on this side. Again, I could have done this on a shape key if I was worried I might mess up. Okay, so now there's some weird shaping going on. I'm going to grab the whole edge and select only the lower part and push it back into the correct spot. This one too. And I'll probably pull out the smoothing tool as well. I'm dumb and I'm realizing I should have done a data transfer first. So if I data transfer, let me delete all unlocked groups. If I data transfer, the legs are going to stick to each other. So I'm going to do the trick with a shape key and basically put it back how it just was. I'm going to grab this side and stick it over further, this side stick it over further. I'd like to not grab the hip part because I want that to be clean. Okay, that's good. Apply to basis, and then let's do a new data transfer. And then put it back. And it's significantly cleaner because it knows which leg to go to now. But I do want to fix this. Okay. I wish it wasn't so dark, I can't see. What if I add a light? I want to fix this, how it just does that right there. I'm a genius. I'm just gonna move this over. And that's probably good. Last one. I was thinking about this one and the corset. Like, the shirt's kinda does the same thing as the corset, so gonna have to figure out how to do that one. Okay, now it's time to make the A pose, the T pose into the A pose. So I'm essentially just going to match the bones back up, and this does need to be perfect, and then combine the armatures. If it's even a little off, then there will be tons of clipping. That's why I didn't make it a real T-pose and like the arms are still angled weird. I didn't want it to be harder when I move it back. The rotation wheel isn't allowing me to get finite like this, so then I'm pressing R instead, and then Y. So I move it on the Y axis, which is the same thing as hitting the green. I'm gonna see if it lines up with the hands, and it does not. Okay, that should be good. Yep. Apply as rest pose. Okay, so we don't need the old body that we just turned back into an A pose, but now all of the clothes that we added, such as the cardigan being the main problem, it looks like it doesn't like some of the weight painting we did, so we'll have to fix it. But all of that is now in an A pose. Or it might have been like this the whole time and I never noticed, to be honest. Go ahead and merge all bones, and I do want... Now let me delete the head. So now it's just all of the clothes and stuff and not the extra body. And then we can merge all bones, and I do want to merge all bones because these bones are all named exactly the same. So we have 2 lower arm R's from having 2 rigs. They should all combine perfectly. I want to combine the cardigan with its tank top now. There it is. I guess I could have just clicked on it, it's right there. The hair needs combined with the little pieces over here, but not the bangs, because those will be a toggle. I would do a blend shape for that to go into the head, but then you have the fizz bone issue where the fizz bones will still move, and I've tried disabling the fizz bones when the hair goes into the head and it ends up being messy. It's not worth it. There is definitely some weird weight painting that happened from switching it back into an A pose. But I'd rather fix all of that manually than do a data transfer in the A pose, because it would just be a disaster. It's very annoying looking at the purple shaders, but it just happens to me every time. It's all in that A textures folder, it's nice and clean, and yet it still wants to be purple, so fine, be purple. Okay, I'm gonna combine... Let me make sure everything's actually attached. There's a lot on this model. Okay, the shoes are not attached. I need to do a data transfer while it's in the flat foot shape key. So I'm going to duplicate the body, flat foot, set the value to 1, apply to basis, make sure I don't do it to the other body, and then click on that, transfer, make sure the armature rig is set, and we should be good now. Sometimes I'll forget to do data transfers on things and I'll find it when I get into Unity and it doesn't move. I was worried I had done that with the shirts, and then I have to go back and make another T-pose model. Okay, I'm combining the head and body. I feel like this face is already pretty similar, but at the same time, I try to avoid a default face when I can to make it more unique. So I'm just gonna play around with the sliders, and I'm getting like a puppy siren vibe, I guess, from the reference. So I'm gonna try to do that. Now that I'm looking at it, the bangs definitely need to be more out. Okay. Now the fun part of making everything compatible. So all of the tops do not need to be compatible with the rest of the tops, but the tops need to be compatible with the shorts and all of the things in other. I am wondering about the hair. I want to wait and see it. I might need to squish it, move it, so it's not going in the shoulder, but I want to see how it looks for now with colliders and all that. Alright, let's make everything compatible. Use the blend shape I just made. Duplicate it, and it's less work I have to do for the exact same shape. I think with that, we are all done in Blender. Anything else I'll go back and fix as we go. Okay, so I've got the avatar imported in with the textures and the constraints tool. It doesn't come with any instructions, but it seems like it's going to be self-explanatory, and I haven't done this in like a year, so I'm going to drag the avatar in, and just so I can watch it happen. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen on the legs and stuff. Not on that one. Yeah, it added a bunch of rotation constraints, so that's all we had to do for that, and I'm going to delete it. Okay, so I wanted to make sure the textures were in before I do this. These settings, I'm going to, let me also check this. Hit apply, and it's gonna make a material for every material that I had in Blender. I wanted to try to use the textures in the textures folder. It looks like it did all of them except for the string top. So that's gonna be annoying. It's gonna keep recreating that folder, but nothing I can do. Now I've got all these materials already assigned, and I don't have to create material, apply, way more work. So I just select all of them, Boyomi, Tune, and set them all to white, and then do my basic shading that I do for all of my materials. Okay, so now they're all set to the rim lighting and reflection and specular and rendering off that I use for everything. I'm gonna hide everything for now and just do one material at a time. Starting with the head and body. I don't like to have gray rim lighting on these. I like to have a more skin color rim lighting. And then I also like the reflection and specular to be higher. I'm realizing I'm in the way. Let me move. So I have all of these settings screenshotted and in my Discord server. Nearly all of them. Like the shading texture ramp setting. And I found this, trying to find it. I don't remember what it's called. Hang on. Stylized reflections, so it changes how the normal appears based on the lighting. So if you like my shader settings, you can go get those in my server. I always add an outline to the hair and body. And I add glitter everywhere to the point that people tell me to tone it down. I'm gonna need to make a glitter mask for this. Okay, so I just set it pretty soft, and then I just draw the glitter where I want it to be, which is usually all over the eyelids. There, and then the part underneath will be black. Okay, I add that mask in, and then I like to make these settings a bit brighter. I'll try that for now. Okay, I'm going to edit these skin textures to match the reference, which is like a pale olivey skin tone. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I will probably edit the skin color more as I go, if it doesn't seem like matching correctly in some lights. But I'm just gonna move on for now. I just photoshopped the textures and then dragged them in. So let me add the normal map before I forget. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down the line and apply all of the textures into the materials, except for the hair. Anything that doesn't come with a normal map, I have a seamless texture for that. So I could just toss that on and tile it by 5, rather than it being solid. Okay, I grabbed 2 metal textures, matte caps, and I'm gonna turn one into a cube. This is how I do my metal now. And that might change, but let me go ahead and add them all in. I find it's shiny but not overwhelming. Not e-boy shiny. And the cube map here does a lot, so I put that cube map in and then up the brightness a lot. And then reflections and specular. If you're putting it on a piece of clothing and it's not just a metal material itself, you don't want to do the specular because it'll change the brightness of the shorts. So I just do the top 3. And now I'm gonna add, oh, I forgot the cube map. And I add my cube map here and force fallback. Now I add my masks in. And there's my medal. I don't do the glitter anymore because I used to do like a glitter with 5 pieces of glitter at size 3, and then there's very small bits of shininess that pop in. I think the cube map does just fine, and it doesn't need the glitter. Anything that has black, the gray rim lighting won't show, so I add another rim lighting, invert it, and then lower it. And I'll change the white to like a more gray if it's too much. If the ribbon is just supposed to be black, then I'm gonna take the black material from before. Doesn't look like it comes with a texture. Still another material slot, but it's one less material. Okay, and now the metal material. So I'm just gonna do exactly what I did before, but with no masks. So this one I do pull up all 4. And there we go. I don't know which matte cap to do for the gem yet. I feel like that one's too close to the metal. So we'll do this one. And I'm gonna add a clear coat. Oh, let me add the lashes and stuff so it's not such an eyesore. Okay, and I'm not gonna leave these eyes the same. I like to change the eyes as well, just to give it a little extra uniqueness, but I'm just gonna toss that in for now. If I remember correctly, the garter is just black. There's no texture for it. Yeah, it didn't come with a texture, so I'm gonna set that material as well to... Oh wait. Nope, I'm remembering. It's not gonna be black, it's gonna be pink. I kind of think I want to combine them anyway. And then, yeah, the hoodie. So the hoodie has a radial that's going to be black, white, and pink. I think I'm going to attach everything else to that as well. So when the jacket's pink, the garter's pink, jacket's black, garter's black. That'll save a material slot, allow things to mix and match better. And it's not taking up any extra parameter slots if they did want that later on. So we'll do that and then add a decal for white and then a decal for pink. See, and then this ribbon is now pink, although it's missing all shading. That must have a really weird UV. I want to add a satiny matte cap to it. I think that'll help it not having a texture. I'm just not sure I have one. Okay, I'm not going to replace it. I'm going to add. Okay, and then also add the cloth normal. And this definitely needs to be turned down. So right at 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th black one. So this is my plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna take that. This is going to be all white. So we're gonna do gray. And I'll definitely have to adjust that, but something like this. Like that. It's not as clean as I need it to be. Question is why? I guess it is kind of blurry. That's not good. Okay, plan B. We're gonna take these and then move them up. So then they're completely separated. Gray everywhere and then white up here. I think it just needs to be a little more opaque. So lighten the gray a tiny bit. There we go. Now I'm gonna add that subtle pink in. And let's add some glitter. And I wanna actually make a mask to make this more pearlescent. Let's do the same one from the garter. But yeah, I thought that'd be better, more like a satiny. And then this would be the cloth, which I'm going to turn down a tiny bit. It's a bit strong. There you go. It does need tightened, obviously. I'll go back and fix that. Ooh, why does this look funky? That's bizarre. Something wrong with the buckle shoes. It's like there's two inside of each other. I want to put a hold on that as well. I haven't decided what outfit is going to be default yet. I think those shoes will be the default. I'll go ahead and tie all of these things to that radial. It's not that much extra work for me, and I'd rather them have the mix and match options. So we'll put black in the second one, or I suppose black would be in the third one with the white in the second one. And then that allows me to color adjust this, make it a little easier instead of photoshopping the texture. Ooh, I'm not ready to see what this does. This is a lot. Just the thing that I don't get is you could have just done a fur mask and used Poyomi fur. I'm thinking because we have to have the radial for the jacket black, white, and pink, and when it's black it's going to be leather, and when it's pink it's going to be furry. So I'm trying to think of how to do that. I can use an alpha map to hide those. Not alpha map, I can use the alpha cutoff to hide them. This still doesn't make sense. Maybe it's the wrong texture? Yeah, that was the wrong texture. Okay. So then this one might be the wrong texture too. Okay. So then all of these fur things hide when the leather turns on. Okay, so that's white, and then black, those don't matter. These. So then I'll also have a toggle. On the same animation, I'll have the matte cap activate. Alright, we'll figure that out when we get to the animation, but that should be set up correctly. This is not correct anymore. The UV must be messed up. When you combine two things or the UV map is not named the same, they will be on different UV layers. So I could have fixed it by hitting this button and then going to UV1, and then it would go to the correct UV map, but I don't want to do that because then when the shaders are off, it will look messed up. So I just go in and fix it in Blender like you just saw me do. This is a little silly. The gem is the red part, but then it should have a separate gem mask. It's just gonna make it metal. I will fix it on my end. Okay, so the hair is gonna have a radial. Blonde, black, light brown, and pink. Let me get all of the basic hair settings in first. Let's add a matte cap in. I like a very subtle matte cap because I'm not a fan of when it looks oily. Like that. Maybe a tiny bit more. I don't like the bang alpha. I'm gonna raise it up a bit so it's not being affected. I don't want it to be affected by the alpha map, so if I move it up, it's not getting cut off as much. Okay, I should be able to use base color, and then when it's pink, it'll be a pink emission. When it's brown, it'll be a brown emission, and then I won't have to change the color, but I might, depending on how it looks, I might change that. Okay, and I like the tips to be a lot lighter than the rest. I'm gonna see what it looks like with the other colors. Ooh, this is also making me realize the matte cap's too strong. I'll probably have to have a slider on that so it's more intense when it's a lighter color, less intense when it's a darker color. And same for the outline, I can't leave that pink. Okay, so now that this is all done, this would be the hair if I wanted to leave it like this, but I want the highlights to have a fancy effect. I am very happy with that. I think I need to tone it down when it becomes black. I think that might be too much, but the others look really good. I'm realizing the hair looks really boxy. I'm getting on all of the clothes that I want to be default. So this is how the model will load in. Okay, it's time to get some pictures and show my progress and all that. Oh, I forgot the glitter. Hair glitter. I always forget it and then I'm like about to finish the model and then I add it last minute. This is looking really good. I'm glad I chose this one to do the video for. I think I'm gonna change the eye texture right now and then call it for the day. So tomorrow will be the animation work and I'm not gonna do all the Photoshop eye stuff on video since it's just a lot of alt tabbing back and forth, so I'll reconvene tomorrow. Okay, should be finishing this up today. I already have the avatar descriptor in. Some heads come with a look up and look down. Those are huge. When like the eyes move too, not just the eyeballs, and I think it does a lot. So if your head has those, definitely add them. We're doing Gogo Loco, and I don't use VRC Fury. Let's do non-right defaults, because they don't want the face tracking. This is fake index for, I wonder if I can even do it. So it like puts the hand down slowly instead of immediately, and it looks a little bit better than the default gestures. I already grabbed the FX from the hands layer thing, duplicated it, and named it FX. We're taking the action layer and I'm going to change the AFK pose, which is right here. Okay, and then I always forget to actually add Gogo Loco, so I'm gonna do that now. The reason I do Gogo Loco manually instead of VRC Fury is specifically because of that AFK. I suppose I could edit the action layer and still add it with VRC Fury, but if they ever update it, then the action layer will get reset and then they lose the AFK. Gogo Loco's done now. I want to get the parameters in that we'll need. So top, lower, hair, now we'll do color, hair, color, outfit. I think that's it. And also I realized the heels are supposed to be black. I got carried away. Makes sense with the other heels being pink, it's more variety. I think that's it. Hair swap will be on a bool, bang on a bool. Okay, I want to go ahead and get some things out of the way. We're going to add dynamics, so you make a menu for that. Okay, put it in the contacts, and then let me put these all in the right spot now. And the rest of the menus, we need hair, top, lower. Oh, I need an integer for shoes. Let me go add that in. Colors? Or should I put those in the, like the hair color in the hair menu? I'll put it in the hair menu and then the top color in the top menu. So I think that's it then. Appearance. And then I lied again. One more. Accessories. Okay, so appearance first. In that one, I'll do top, lower, shoes, accessories, and then within the hair menu, Let's go ahead and add hair color. I think I forgot to change them to floats. Yeah. And the top menu, top color. I think that's all of them. I'm going to now use the toggle creator. What's the difference? Blend tree. I'll stick to the regular one for now. Alright, so bikini, we'll start with the easy things. Put it in NSFW. This confuses me. Default state on, I guess. And save state. I'm just gonna put them on. It's gotta be right. That would actually be pretty nice if I can add the icon now instead of throwing those in later, because it does take a solid second to add them in. Okay, let's do the bow. That one. Hair, color. This one I like to do for contacts. Toss that in, and then create toggle. Okay, now I guess we'll just have one in there, and then we'll go in and edit it so when the long hair toggles off, the short hair toggles on. So hair swap, hair, create. In some ways I do like this more than AV3 Creator, but in some ways I still really prefer AV3 Creator. But considering AV3 Creator is $20, this is still a great substitution. Let me add the bangs in. Okay, not touching the skirts. The corset, let's put in accessories, and I'll give it the bow, socks. I'm gonna do this 3 times and call them the appropriate ones. So this is, and then put it in again and name it bracelet. Let's put the bow, I guess. And then put it in again and call it anklet. I think I made a blend shape for the belly ring. Yeah, I did. Okay, and then one more for the belly ring. Okay, shoes, integer, top integer, and that's it. Time to do the rest manually. I like to do the gestures while I'm in here too. I always name it fist so it shows up at the bottom of the list, and this time you might actually see that, how useful that is. Last time I said that, and then I had like 10 animations total, so you couldn't even scroll anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm missing one. Handgun. No, I did that one. Piece. Okay, get rid of the masks. And then I put the expressions on the right hand. I always put the fist on both idle and fist because of quest users. This is just my default that I do every time, and then if they say, oh, could you do this gesture for this hand, or this expression for this gesture? Yeah, and then I just change it real quick, but this works almost every time. Okay, that's ready to go, and then let's add the things in. Color, hair, and color outfit. Empty, set the parameter, color hair, right defaults off. And then next one, empty, set the parameter, right defaults off. Add the animation. Oh my gosh, I've been cutting that off the whole time. I'm sorry. Hang on. Sorry about that. Okay, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 5. And I always do it alphabetical just to make it easier. I don't have to second guess what order, what number everything has. So I just go straight down with the bottom one being top off. So I'm going to do this one in its entirety and then probably skip the other one because it's going to be the same thing. So let me copy that. Top. I'm in the way. Top cardigan, top frilly, top jacket, top lace, top string top off. And then I just put them in. Right, default's off. And then I want to set the transition to the duration to 0 because I don't want to see it activate. I want it to be immediate. Okay, that's done and ready for me to edit the animations. So I'm gonna do these and get back to you. Okay, that should be everything in the FX. Let's go ahead and do all of the animation work. And I just start from the top and go down and I think about which ones needed blend shapes. Belly ring, so this is the one I did the entire mesh, but I'm gonna delete that and change it to the belly ring being off. So that doing it this way made it so I don't have to do any of the FX parameter menu work. It does it all for me and then I just fix the animation. Bracelet off, delete that, change it to this. Okay, color hair, starting early. I didn't think we'd be right into the floats, but alright, so I'm gonna set all of these to 0. The matte cap as well, or let me put that on the default, which was for the blonde hair, like right there. I might be able to just do this. It might be mad at me, but I'm gonna set it to this color and then change it for each hair color. And then the emission strength as well. That should be everything. So I'm gonna copy it, paste it, and then set this to 1. Now I want to change the matte cap and the emissions to fit the brown hair better. And the outline. So I want to darken the outline. And I think lower the emission. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, I'm gonna paste it again. Gives me a blank slate. Set that to 1. The only thing I don't like across all of them is the glitter. I'm going to increase the base color. Ooh, what if I set the color map to the flower thing? I'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, paste that. 1. This one I actually want to leave it exactly like that. I forgot about the other hairs, I'll be honest. So all of the shirts that I want to have to be part of this, which it's been a day, I don't remember. I'm just gonna go through them all and see which ones have the decals in there. I think this is the only one I didn't, yeah, this is the only one I didn't add to the slider. Okay, so now if I copy this, paste it. I want these all to be 0. This one I'll have the blend alpha on 1, and then this one I'll have the blend alpha 1 on 1. So if I don't do this and get that green A, then when I lock the materials, they won't animate. Okay, so this should turn black now. Yeah. But on this one, when it turns black, we're gonna alpha cut off all the way up. It looks weird now, but when I lock it, the ones that don't have the A won't do anything. I wish I could see it, but let me keep going. I can't see it, this sucks. I guess I'll just set those back when I'm done and then remove the animation. Move back over. So now when it's black, the latex turns on. I might make a mask for the shirt part. So I think the jacket being latex looks good, but then actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, so for it to be a mask, I want the white parts to be affected by the matte cap, the black parts to not be. And then fill white. Okay, so now when I drag that in, the top part should be just a normal black. I might like it with the bow. I want to see it. Okay, so if I lock these all, I don't like it, and I'm trying to think about why. I think this part and this part should not have the latex, and then that might help. And then I also think I need to increase the reflections and specular on the black version. And there's clipping, and I don't know if I ever made a jacket blend shape. I'll have to look at that. Back to the masks. Okay, well this one's easy. Set it black where you don't want the mask. Where you don't want the matte cap. I think those, right? Yeah. Whatever this is, I'm sure it doesn't need to be latex. I wonder if it would look good having this part stay cloth. I feel like the jacket also just in general has a very cloth-like look. I might edit the black texture, like get rid of the texture entirely. That might help. I'm cooking here. Just let me mess with this. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of issues, by the way, ignore those. Lots of masks, matte cap masks, but I wanted to keep some of the more cloth-like, less furry things cloth, just for a little more variety. This looks really good. I did put a normal on it. I'm wondering if I should lower the intensity of it, but I didn't want it to be just a solid, boring latex. Yeah, I did not make a blend shape for this. So, I'm gonna do that now. Because I'll need to go put that in the animation. Get the armpits, the shoulders, the arms. Let's see how that looks. Alright, so that should be all of the coloring. We'll move on. So when the corset's off, I'm just gonna go through all of these meshes and pull the slider if there's a slider for it. So then I'm gonna copy all of these, paste it, and then set them to 100. I had a skinned mesh renderer on the last commission I made. It was like local. So I set it, where'd it go? I set the hair swap so when the short hair is on, the bang skin mesh render is hidden. So even when it's visible, whenever it's on, it's not visible. But then I found out it was local only. Nobody else could see that. And I'm not sure why, and I'm kind of nervous to mess with that again. See, the short hair, you'll have to manually go in and turn the bangs off, but it will be in the same menu, so... But this is what I would have done originally, is skin mesh render off. But I'm worried that it's gonna be local. I'm gonna do it for now. If anything, if someone says, why do you have two bangs? And, you know, they still have the menu to turn it off. Until we fix it, at least. Turn off all the lower and back on so they get added to the animation, and then I'm gonna go through them all and apply these like I just did. The bikini does need that, and I don't think I have any blend shapes for the... Okay, so that's all of them, copy it, and then I can start adding these in. Paste it. Okay, paste it. Add the shorts. This is the one where I want the bikini to hide underneath. Although I am seeing clipping that's gonna need to be fixed. Okay, now that I've added another blend shape, I can add it here and then I have to go in and edit the old ones. Okay, I'll probably come back to that and keep editing it until it looks better, but... Okay, now for the shoes. Select them all, show and hide, and then go through the list. Now the socks. So when the socks are on, these are all set to 100. I'm going to copy that though. And then paste it into socks off so I don't have to touch it. Okay, turn them all off and back on, get them added in there, and then... Okay, the bra needs to be off. Ooh, blend shape for the necklace. Okay, and then to get to the gestures, press C. Although, it just happens to be right below the tops, but still. Okay, we do specifically want a wink with tongue out and no expression with their eyes closed. So, I only do expressions on one hand. I'm gonna take every blend shape that can be used and set it all to 0. Okay, That should be good. I'm gonna copy all of them and then paste them. And then now I can apply whatever blend shapes to get the expression I'm going for. Not a fan of how intense the blush is though. It's a realism head. I feel like a subtle blush would have done more. I need the tongue to be out. That one's fine. That one's cuter. I'm gonna do this one just because I like it more. And if they want the tongue out more, then we can change it. Okay, that should be all of the animations. Before I do the fizz bones, I want to see what it looks like. Okay, wait, never mind, hang on. Okay, now that I've done the FX animation work, I need to add all of these to the menus, and I'm just gonna go in order. So okay, so this should look like exactly the same. Perfect. That is very pink. Like, I need to change that very pink. I'm also gonna lower the rim lighting. Oh, I forget that when you sometimes the radials, the decal and all that will mix the colors together. I'll take it. Okay, so these should all be white. Perfect, and then all black. Perfect, and that looks good. Why is that doing that? That might be another one of those things I just keep messing with until it starts working. So put a hold on that for now. That's so bizarre. It's gotta be that it really looks like there's two shoes in there. Maybe I duplicated it and then didn't mirror it. Okay, what if I separate by loose? Oh god. No. I'm again at a loss. I'll just put a hold on that. Ooh, I love the blending of colors. You get it like a dark brown or like a medium brown if you wanted to. But it does always like it goes from dark brown back to the original color instead of like going even darker brown. I guess you could get that right there. And if you want the pink to be a little less pink, I guess. Now it's time for fizz bones, and then I think I'm done and ready to test in VR. So for that, I have all of my fizz bone settings in my server. I have them as presets, and I'll show you how to apply those if you don't know. I don't know if this head comes with a cheek pull, so I'm going to download that anyway. Short hair, thigh jiggle, just in case, dangly straps. That should be good. So I take all those presets. This saves me like 30 minutes. It's amazing. Drag them in, and then the thigh jiggle, I put on all of these pieces, the belly wiggle and all that. Some bodies need an endpoint, but for now we'll assume it doesn't. I'm not seeing a white thing there, so I think we will need an endpoint. Okay, butt wiggle. Some people say this jiggle's too much, but I really like it. Boob jiggle. Front hair, short hair, but I have to lower it because I made it too high on the preset. Long hair. Is there no thigh jiggle? Oh, there it is. So in case you didn't see what I was doing, I was literally just dragging and dropping it in. And then it applies the setting. Some have colliders in here, so this one has a spot for 3 colliders because it's intended to have shoulders, chest, and all that. Apparently you can do colliders with the presets, but when I reapplied it, it didn't put it in the right spot. So what's the difference than just making it yourself? Oh, I did need the dangly straps. So the bikini skirt. Just toss that on there. I think that's all of them. No cheek pull. Okay. Let's get those colliders in. I always start out with a spine collider, I guess. That's a bit too long. Just do that, it's fine. And then I'll duplicate. So put that one on the spine, and then I take this one that I just duplicated, move it up to the chest. There's no wrong way to do... I should start this disclaimer at the beginning of every video, to be honest. All these things you see me doing, there's no wrong or right way to do it. So it's all, you know, there's no wrong way to do shaders. There's no wrong way to do fizz bones and colliders. If you want really slow, long hair versus really springy, fly back and forth hair, you know, there's no wrong way to do it. So this is just how I do them. I've done them a lot of different ways over the last 3 years, and this one has been the least amount of colliders with the most effectiveness. This is also going on the chest, and I'm gonna make it smaller. And then duplicate it again, move it up, tilt it 90, make it shorter. Obviously you want as little colliders as possible, but I hate when the hair goes through that body, and sometimes it really is unavoidable. Like I could fully add the colliders into the arm, so when the hair goes through the arm, it goes over it instead of through it, but I would really only do that if I was doing like a braid, like a long braid or a long ponytail. I don't think this one needs it. Okay, now to add them all in. So if the hair was longer, I would add butt colliders and stuff. But not needed. Let's see how that looks. I want to add a single boob collider for this side. I'm wondering if it'd be strange to add audio link to the pearls, and I want to test that. And if I don't like it, then I'll remove it. Because I'm thinking like the lights are flashing, it's reflecting off of the shiny things. I think it could work. So emission, white, just to test it, and like that. Use base color. So now it's just really, really shiny. So it'll do that. I feel like that makes sense. It's gonna reflect off of something shiny. So audio link 5. I might need to turn it down at the very least, but we'll see. Okay. I kind of want to play around with adding an effect at the bottom, and because when it's dark you can't see your feet, you know, but if I added audio link then you would in like a club world. I want to try it. I need to make a mask unless there is one already. There's a lot going on here. I gotta test it out. I gotta just drag the masks in and see if one of them does what I'm thinking of. Oh my god, that's perfect. That's even better than I was thinking. Okay, so hear me out. It's not gonna be white, it's gonna be this. And heck, maybe I want to leave it like that. And anyway, they said go all out. I have creative freedom here. And if they don't like it, I can just remove it. Let's do it. If it was just like my initial plan was just to make this part, this section here, have the audio link, but I like this more. And I want it to glow a little bit. Let's do override base color, and then it's gonna be permanently like this, but then it also has the audio link. So the bass is hitting you know. I think we want to keep these simple, although let's add some glitter. Perfect. That looks better. I think that's kind of all I can add audio link to. Anything else might feel unnatural. We'll leave it at that. This time I will test it in VR. So like not just cinematic shots, but like the actual process of me testing it. But that is everything aside from all the issues that I still need to address and figure out why it's happening. Everything that the model has. So I will see you on the other side. Okay, I might do a voiceover for this, but I'm just gonna talk. So I'm gonna test the avatar now how I would every time, and you can see my process for, I've uploaded it, I did the avatar descriptor, everything's all set up, everything's ready to go. I need to test the animations and make sure they don't clip. So I start by going to the avatar testing chamber because it has an avatar in the middle of the room, which you can't see on camera. That's part of why I've never made a TikTok on this, but you get the idea. I'm standing right here and here, so I can see myself in this. I wish there was any way I could show you. I really don't get why it doesn't show on camera. I feel like the lips are really big, and the mouth is also really teethy, which I find is not the commission, it's just the face. It's also doing that because I'm talking with my mouth, with my hands open, so I'm constantly smiling. Okay, so I'm gonna peek over here and look at this occasionally, but I will go ahead and show you. I start off in the mirror. Make sure I get some good poses in. Sometimes the garter, like you saw me fix before, will stretch, and I won't see that till I get in VR. I never got around to fixing this. I completely forgot. So I'm gonna take a picture. So I'm not the kind of person that will take off my headset, go fix it, come back. I just take pictures of literally everything I find, pointing at the problem, and then I'll go fix it the next day. That's also not weight painted. I'm gonna do a little shimmy, or maybe just push it about that picture. I take all the pictures that I took the next day and I get them all fixed all at once, and then I'll upload it and test it again. Usually the second time I test is gonna be in an MMD world. See, this is where I'd love to get a view of the back, so I'm gonna move over here. Just getting a good look at the model. A lot of the clipping will be generally in the boob area, in the armpit area. Sometimes I don't pull out the jacket far enough, and oh, there's a thing right there. We actually touched on this on the previous video. I made a blend shape for the hood to go in further so the hair doesn't clip through. So I'm gonna do that again. Yeah, so I end up having like 30 photos. Some days I'll have like 3 photos. It just depends really how much stuff I added. If I needed 2 blend shapes to make the outfits, or if I needed 30 blend shapes to make the outfits, I'm more likely to run into issues. Let me check that clipping. Yeah, we definitely have some. So I'm gonna do all of those fixes. I'm not gonna bother showing those fixes. I'm just gonna do all of that off camera. But this is it. I do need to do a quick little showcase of the model as well, which I'll do later on after I've done all those fixes. But other than that, we're all done. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. We did a great job picking out assets to use, and it was fun creating as much customization and mix and match for them as I could. Turning the fuzzy jacket into a leather jacket was something I was worried about initially, but I think it's my favorite part of the model. And of course, I'm glad they let me have fun with the shaders and go crazy with it. If you like this video and you want to see more, let me know what you think down below, because these are really fun to make. And it means a lot knowing that I can teach you guys while I make avatars for my commissions. Bye!